Alright. Got that bolt. What are you doing, Jose?
Oh. Whew. Gym's closed, so you know you gotta improvise. That's in one.
Those are my fucking tires from my G35.
No, it's don't they use that at the gym, right? It's like, you know, they grab the hammer and 3. What's going on, guys? So we are back, and as you can see, we have the homie Filmerlouis once again.
But today we're actually going to be working on this car. You want to explain what we're doing today, Liz?
Changing the clutch.
Changing the clutch.
Early right now,
yeah, this guy made me get up at 7 a.m. just to get some coffee.
Hopefully, this is our makeshift breaker bar.
Wait, why don't we just rent one?
I don't know. Should have.
This guy.
This is probably gonna break.
Anyways, guys, we're gonna be changing out the clutch today on his car. As you can see, he already got started somewhat on taking some of these parts off. Right now, basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna jack up the car, get both of the axles off. What the? But you want to show them some of the parts you got real quick?
Yeah. So far, I took off my air intake. Took me like 2 seconds to take that off. I took the entire battery out just to free up a little bit of space, and then I got my starter out. Now I'm putting the bolts back in because I don't want to get confused with them, so like, I just put the bolts back in so I know exactly what bolt goes where. And then another good tip is I'm taking pictures of the bolts as well. Every time I take a bolt out, I'm taking a picture of it so that we don't lose it. Because like these bolts look pretty similar, but they both go in a very specific place. So I have pictures of those too, so I know exactly where each one of those goes. But yeah, this is all the stuff I bought. So we're gonna take the entire transmission out. We're gonna replace the clutch and then the pressure plate. And then a lot of people say you can just resurface the flywheel. It's like $50 to resurface the flywheel. And then this flywheel was only like $50 anyways. So I was like, I'll just buy a new one. I'd rather just be safe than sorry. It's freaking heavy, this thing though.
Is it really?
Yeah. I can see why they make lightweight versions of these. You should have been lifting this. It's heavy as hell.
I mean, these tires themselves are not too light.
But then yeah, I also bought my Slave Master and my Clutch Master just in case. We're probably gonna return these if we don't have to use them. I just bought them as a preventative measure, but I don't think we're gonna need those because mine aren't leaking or anything. So. But yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoy this video. It shouldn't take us too long, hopefully. Lewis already got kind of started some of the stuff. So the only thing that we really need to do is the axles and then transmission out, which I guess might be kind of hard because I've never done it and you've never done it. Yeah, we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video, and let's get started. Yeah, Jose already needed me once. Go ahead, it's on there. Really? Go ahead. Alright guys, so now that we removed the cotter pin from right below here.
Wait, Lewis, there was no cotter pin to start off.
They don't even know that. So this is Castle Nut. There's usually a cotter pin in there, but I don't know. Whoever owned the car before me obviously didn't put it back in. Kind of stupid. It's okay, we're gonna buy some more. We're gonna take this bolt off. Once we get that bolt off, we're gonna go ahead and separate the ball joint and then. Alright, so right here we have the shift linkage, and there's this bolt right here that's holding it into the transmission. This is actually where you shift your gears. So I'm going to take this bolt out right here, and then this should slide out. That way we don't have to take this entire bar because it goes all the way back there. We don't have to take that entire bar out with it. So we're working on that. Oh yeah, that's a spot. Anyways, I also took out this bushing here. It wasn't in here. You just press it in, just like that. And then there's a 12mm bolt holding it in. So I took that out already. And then now we're just gonna work on that bolt. And then after that, we're gonna start working on each hub and removing the axles on them. It's out, but it's stuck.
If you pull this out towards you, pull this out.
Look.
See, there you go.
Oh, fuck. Okay. And then we can just slide it that way.
Yeah.
lift this up so you can slide it through there. There you go. Okay. If I let this complete.
Hey, Liz, you want to tell me your background? How do you know how to do so much of this stuff?
You just do it. You just get under your car and start doing it. You know how much stuff we've broken in the process of trying to fix stuff? I tried changing my brakes one time and ripped all the brake lines. I had to replace the entire brake lines. My car was out of commission for like a week. I don't know. You take apart the engine in the Cavalier, like you just buy a cheap car and start working on it.
But you live and learn.
Yeah, exactly.
You live
I'm
and
freaking kinesiology major. You're police.
Or criminal justice.
Criminal justice. There you go.
So yeah, guys. So
it doesn't matter what you do.
Basically, what we're trying to say is, even if you don't know how to do this stuff, just watch a couple YouTube videos, just like we did, and then just go for it.
Look up the forums. If anything, you break something, it's just an excuse to upgrade it.
That's actually kind of true.
I mean, I broke my rubber lines. I replaced them with stainless steel lines.
You're right.
It's a great upgrade. Bit fresh.
Okay, guys. So basically, what we ended up doing is we did the same thing we did on the other side, and we took the axle out. Only thing is there's like an extra step on this side. So because on the right side, the transmission's on the left side, so the axle is connected to the transmission, whereas on the driver's side, the axle is connected to the half shaft. So there's two steps to this one. You're technically supposed to pull out the axle from the drive shaft and then pull the drive shaft out, or the half shaft. But for whatever reason, we could not get them to separate. So we just basically unbolted the whole thing and pulled it out as a whole unit. And as you guys can see, we basically got it out. So we're basically at the point where we can start taking the transmission off, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So you want to explain to them what we're gonna do next?
Yep. So next you have another mount right here. It's I think there's 17s. I can't really tell, but you have this mount right here, which you're gonna unmount from the transmission, and then underneath there's another mount that mounts to the body of the car, to the chassis. So you're gonna unmount that. And then we're going to start working on this mount. And then we're going to jack the car up as we take this mount off so that it can slowly lower onto the jack. Once we lower it onto the jack, we can just pull it out, and then we'll start working on the actual clutch, flywheel, and pressure plate assembly. A couple other things. You have to remove a bunch of wires. There are some like speed sense wire, reverse wire, all connected to the transmission. So you have to make sure to take those off. Otherwise, you're going to be pretty mad at yourself if you rip them when you're pulling the transmission down. So, but other than that, yeah, that's what we're gonna start working on now.
Also, guys, I highly recommend to get one of these. This thing is a lifesaver. Literally a lifesaver. It's called the Hypervolt. It basically helps you massage your like sore muscles. And I'm not gonna lie, when I got here, my back was like killing me because of yesterday when we were trying to. Yeah, we couldn't take the axle off yesterday, so like I'm not gonna lie, I put my back into a little bit, which you're not supposed to, but. We run out of options, and this morning I woke up and my back was hurting pretty bad, and I used that Hypervolt, and like in less than 2 minutes it like got the knot out, and now I feel like a new person. Honestly, you can't lie, it helps out a lot. Mm-hmm. That's why you have one. Yeah, comes in clutch.
Nice. You look like a mess.
Alright.
You're annoying, this man.
Alright, what are we doing? I'm gonna pull it. You're gonna lower it.
Is it recording?
Pull it out.
No.
Yeah, it is. I already started. It says right there, REC. That means it's recording.
Okay. Get out of my face.
You want to come on this side so they can see?
Jay, come right here.
Oh.
So just aim the camera like like this area right there.
Like right around here, okay?
Okay, baby. Okay.
You're good. You're good. I got it.
What was that noise?
Nothing. You're good. Keep going. Dude, I can lift this thing by my fucking self, Jose. Let's go. It's not heavy.
Okay, it's on the...
Alright. Cool. So let's slide it out. Go ahead. Walk up. Yeah, there you go. Careful, don't scratch my paint, bro. Woo! Alright.
Oh yeah, you can lift it.
I told you, it's not that heavy.
So, as you guys can see, we got the transmission off. It was kind of a pain in the ass. What we kind of had to do realistically is once we got all the bolts off, we had to separate the transmission from this right here. So basically what we did is we slowly pried it apart to the point where it kind of just clipped off. And then from there, using the jack underneath, we were able to slowly guide it down. And as you can see, it is right over here. It's not too heavy, right, Lewis?
No. You want to get a couple squats in? Let's go. What would you say this is, 80?
Woo! Honestly, it's like no. So now that we got that out, as you guys can see, we have the
That's the pressure plate.
pressure plate. I'll have Lewis explain this because he knows a little bit more about what these parts are.
Yeah, that's the pressure plate, clutch, and flywheel all right there. So now we're going to take off the pressure plate, take off the clutch, and take off the flywheel because I'm actually replacing the flywheel as well. And I have new parts for all those, and then we'll install them. That's it. It's pretty easy. We'll show you guys how to install all that right now, though. Oh yeah, we also show them Jose how we jacked up the engine so that it doesn't put stress on the engine mounts.
Oh yeah, so apart from putting a jack underneath the transmission, what we also did is we put a jack underneath the engine just to kind of help out with some of the pressure. So as you guys can see down there, we got a separate jack, and that's holding up the engine just to alleviate some of the pressure. Alrighty guys, so this is day number like 3 now of us trying to replace Lewis's clutch. So if you guys remember, or actually they do remember because
yeah,
we kind of cut off yesterday.
What did we leave off at?
Yesterday we left off of pulling out the
yeah,
we pulled the transmission off. I don't think we ever showed them the clutch, did we?
I don't know, it's all over there though. Oh yeah, we didn't show them.
Yeah, we didn't show them. So, yeah, so originally we thought it was a clutch, but once we pulled the clutch out, we realized that their clutch is basically almost brand new still.
It's the same exact one.
So this basically means it wasn't your clutch.
I guess not, but we're gonna replace it with the new clutch anyways, just because
we already did all
this work. Yeah, we want to be safe and make sure that it's.
But the one thing we did realize though is on the flywheel, like there was grooves, like imperfections, which we're not too sure if that makes a difference, but there's like a few imperfections here and there on this, so we went ahead and replaced that at least as well. Which, if you guys take a look, it's gonna be right in there. It's a brand new one compared to the old one right there. And then next thing we're actually gonna do is actually clean this out, because as you guys can see, it's just super dirty. Once we clean that out, we're gonna pop that back in, or put the clutch on first, and then put this back on, and then basically put the car back together and hope for the best.
Yeah, I know, honestly.
Dude, this honestly, after doing this, it's not even the fact that we did all this work and we're not too sure if it's gonna fix or not, but it's the fact that we did all this work not knowing a lot, and now we're kind of at the point where it's like it wasn't too bad taking all this off. It was kind of like a learning curve for us, because as you guys know, we're not really mechanics. Pretty sure they figured this out after all the YouTube videos we've uploaded, but we kind of just go for it. And we got to the point where we feel more confident now being able to do stuff like this, even though we come in with very little knowledge on how we do this. I mean, we do our research the night before we do stuff like this sometimes. Like obviously Lewis did the research on how to remove the clutch and the flywheel and all this other stuff, and you know, he did the research on how to torque things down to spec. But realistically, we've never taken a clutch off before, and we kind of just went for it. And now, like I said, we feel more confident than ever to do all this stuff.
To do whatever we want now.
Yeah. So once we finish that, or get the clutch on, we'll show you guys, and then we'll show you guys how we put the transmission back on, because that should be fun.
Okay, so basically, when you put the flywheel on, you'll see like there's a bearing in there. This small little part right here goes in the bearing, and then this spindle side goes into the clutch. So you want, pretty much right now, like my clutch is sagging, so what I'm going to do is put this in there until it fits into the bearing. See, like right now it fits into the spindle, but now I need to get it all the way back there to the bearing. You can test it by spinning it and know that it spins with that bearing. And now that it's all aligned properly like that, then we can tighten it down now. That makes sense. That way the clutch doesn't sag. Yeah. Does that make sense, Jose?
Also, one thing we need to mention is we're running on like 4 hours of sleep.
Yeah, we are. But we're buying coffee every morning. But yeah, we're putting this, I think it's 242 thread locker on every bolt that we're tightening down. So it's pretty annoying, to be honest, having to put this on every single bolt, but they say to do it.
So we got the transmission back in, but that was a mission in itself. Well, so you want to explain how it went since you're down there?
Just post a picture of a glute bridge.
Post if we could Photoshop a transmission literally sitting on your body, that's how we got it in.
Yeah, we tried sliding it in with the jack. It didn't work, so I asked Jose to pick up the transmission while it was in here, take it off the jack, place it on my stomach, And then so he lifted it up by himself, hunched over the engine bay, picked it up with all of his strength, placed it on my stomach, and then I glute bridged up and held it in place so that he could put in a couple bolts to hold it in. It was a pain in the ass.
Guys, I have no idea how he got the transmission in, but it's in. I almost gave out my lower back for it. I basically gave out my lower back for it. We did it the worst way possible. There was like no other options for us. We tried the jack way. It would not slide in. I kept falling off the jack, and there's only so much room for us to play around with, so kind of got desperate at the end and lifted it up, put it on Lewis, slid him in, and then guided him a bit, and we got it in. So now we're just gonna finish tightening some bolts up. As you guys can see, tighten bolts, and then once we get that, our next problem is gonna putting these back on. The axles, so we have the left and right side, although the rights are, I guess the driver's side is going to be the hardest, only because we have this piece to worry about, the half shaft and the axle. I'm gonna have to go back in there, and then after that we can just wiggle them through there and tighten everything back up, and then moment of truth to see if we actually did something or not.
You just have to go buy manual transmissions for this. So, there's that. Sorry to break that news to you right now, Jose.
Well, I'm gonna be leaving soon, so sorry to break that news to you.